India won its independence in 1947, but it was only in 1991 under PV Narsimha Rao that the Indian economy was liberated. If it were not for Narasimha Rao, India may have been stuck in the License Raj era for years more. The Nehru-Gandhi family fanboys conveniently credit all the success to the then Finance Minister Manmohan Singh while ignoring the leadership demonstrated by PM Narasimha Rao entirely. Namaskar and welcome to the Bharat Perspective. Today we will discuss the role of PV Narasimha Rao in shaping the Indian economy and how the Nehru-Gandhi family has always treated Manmohan Singh as a pet. In January 1991, India had to pledge 67 tons of gold to the International Monetary Fund as India's foreign exchange reserves had dipped to $1.2 billion. Until about 1990, Indian economic policies were stalled in socialistic moorings. The buzzwords then were import substitution, license permit Raj and public sector monopoly. It was the massive economic crisis of 1991 that made the Indian government headed by PV Narasimha Rao ji realize that the socialist policies that had brought India to these dire straits had to be abandoned. Thus, PV Narasimha Rao directed his finance minister to initiate the economic liberalization of India. The basic principle of the policy was to do away with protectionism and end the monopoly of public sector undertakings and selected private conglomerates in India. The new economic policy of 1991 aimed at liberalizing trade and commerce. Its objective was to allow multinational companies to enter the Indian market easily. In short, the buzzwords were reducing flap from PSUs and encouraging MNCs to come and invest in India. The massive growth in the Indian tech sector and the rise in foreign investment that we saw in the 1990s and 2000s wouldn't have happened without the economic reforms of 1991. The opposition to 1991 reforms. PV Narasimha Rao faced massive resistance from the MPs of his own party when he attempted to implement the economic reforms. Then there were industrialists like K.K. Birla, a member of parliament, who were opposed to the entry of multinationals in the Indian market because he will have new competitors. Even through all of this, PV Narasimha Rao remained adamant and ensured that the most significant economic reforms of independent India till then passed the test of governance. Sonia Gandhi was never fond of PV Narasimha Rao. A little known fact is that Sonia Gandhi tried to remove him as the Prime Minister in 1992 and install Arjun Singh as the PM in his place. When the attempt inevitably failed, she developed a huge animosity towards PV Narasimha Rao. In the end, the hate became so intense that she did not even allow the mortal remains of PV Narasimha Rao to enter the AICC headquarters after he passed away. Despite implementing the 1991 reforms and laying the foundation for the transformation of India into an economic powerhouse, it took 20 years after his death and an NDA government at the center to award him the Bharat Ratna posthumously. Did the Congress party deny him Bharat Ratna because he was not a Gandhi? Certainly seems that way. Not to forget, the Congress first family has never failed to deny honors and respect that is owed to the Prime Minister that changed the face of India. After the 2004 Lok Sabha win, Congress under the leadership of Sonia Gandhi wanted to install someone as PM over whom they had complete control. This is precisely why someone like Manmohan Singh, who had no political power within the party, was chosen to become the PM instead of stalwart like Pranab Mukherjee ji. The decade-long tenure of Manmohan Singh as Prime Minister is now infamously referred to as the lost decade. During his tenure, he failed to implement any significant reform that would catapult India to the next level. His tenure was riddled by policy paralysis, stagnation in infrastructure development, massive corruption, and a noticeable lack of leadership. India's growth rate dipped to 5.5% in 2012 to 13 during UPA 2 from 8.2% in 2003 to 4 under the NDA. Manmohan Singh is often portrayed as a secular face by the Nehru-Gandhi loyalists, but this is again a charade that is run by liberals to gaslight Hindus into falling prey to pseudo-secularism. We need only look back at 2006 when Manmohan Singh as Prime Minister proudly declared that minorities have the first right to resources. We know that when someone from the Congress says minorities, they do not mean the Jain, Buddhist or Sikh population, they only mean one community, and that is the Muslims.
The component plans for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes will need to be revitalized. We will have to devise innovative plans to ensure that minorities, particularly the Muslim minority, are empowered to share equitably in the fruits of development.
Then, in 2014, more days before the Model Code of Conduct came into force for 2014 Lok Sabha elections, Manmohan Singh gave away 123 prime government properties to Waqf board just to appease the Muslim vote bank. Here are some of their scams: coal scam, 2G scam, CWG scam, Adarsh scam, chopper scam, Tatra truck scam, cash for vote, Satyam scam. These are only a few scams that happened right under the nose of Manmohan Singh. In 2010, when charges of corruption were leveled against his government, Manmohan Singh was busy tapping the phones of opposition leaders and journalists. He even defended his actions, claiming it was for national interests. Then there was the time when the UPA government was planning to close petrol pumps by 8 p.m. in order to tackle fuel demand, as it looked for ways to cut the massive oil import. Then there was the occasion when India was mentioned among the fragile 5 economies under the leadership of PM Manmohan Singh. However, the greatest sin committed by Manmohan Singh as Prime Minister was allowing terrorists to run amok in the country. Terrorist attacks and civilian deaths were the new normal in the Manmohan era. Terrorists from Pakistan came over, attacked Mumbai and killed hundreds of our countrymen, and yet our dear PM sat silent on his podium and refused to take any action against Pakistan. Compare that to how Prime Minister Narendra Modi has dealt with Pakistani terrorism and how safe our streets are now.
इस हमले की वजह से देश में जितना आक्रोश है, लोगों का खून खौल रहा है, ये मैं भली भांति समझ पा रहा। इस समय जो देश की अपेक्षाएं हैं, कुछ कर गुजरने की भावनाएं हैं, वो भी स्वाभाविक है। हमारे सुरक्षा बलों को पूर्ण स्वतंत्रता दे दी गई है।
There will always be political differences and political rivalry in democracy, but the death of a former Prime Minister ought to be an occasion when the entire political leadership of the country comes together. And this is precisely how the Narendra Modi government has acted after the former PM's death. They have even begun the process of identification of land for Manmohan Singh's memorial. Now compare that to how PV Narsimha Rao was treated by the Congress party after his death. Even though he belonged to that party itself, PV Narsimha Rao received a memorial 10 years after his death. Initially, no land was allotted to his memorial by the Congress government. This is now surprising since how hateful a person Sonia Gandhi is, who had earlier not even permitted PV Narsimha Rao mortal remains to enter the All India Congress headquarters. If you liked what you saw, please share this video, subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video. Thank you.